Thank you for giving me the floor. I'm delivering this statement on behalf of the International Drug Policy Consortium, a global network of more than 190 NGOs that promote drug policy to advance social justice and human rights. With the 2016 UN General Assembly Special Session on Drugs, the international community put forward an ambitious vision of a global drug control regime grounded on the principles of human rights, community leadership, and sustainable development. Achieving this vision requires the mobilization of the whole UN system to understand and reverse decades of harm brought about by the so-called war on drugs. Drug policy does not operate in a vacuum, and Vienna-based bodies must acknowledge and welcome the input and expertise of other specialized UN entities and experts. In fact, member states recognized this in the 2016 UNGAS outcome document, which provides a clear and explicit mandate to increase the unity of action and purpose of the UN system with regards to drugs. It is in response to this mandate that the UN Chief Executive's Board adopted the UN Common Position on Drugs and created the UN System Coordination Task Team, which is the designated interagency mechanism for coordination on drug-related matters. But after a breakthrough start in 2019, the wealth and expertise and knowledge gathered in the task team has remained largely underutilized. Chair, we warmly welcome the latest report of the Chair Rapporteur of the UN Working Group on Arbitrary Detention and her participation here today. The Working Group's study on drug policies includes urgent and concrete recommendations, including the decriminalization of people who use drugs and of subsistence farmers involved in drug crop cultivation. The report further recommends the urgent closure of compulsory drug detention centers, echoing a strong call made by 13 UN agencies, including UNODC, UNAIDS and the WHO in 2020 at the start of the COVID-19 pandemic. In September 2021, the Human Rights Council established a new international investigative mechanism on the human rights violations inflicted by law enforcement on peoples of African descent. For the next 3 years, this mechanism will open a necessary discussion on racial justice and drug policies. The CND must welcome this urgent and necessary discussion here in Vienna. Also adopted in 2021, the new Global AIDS Strategy and Political Declaration on HIV/AIDS reaffirms the urgent need to remove laws and policies that punish, criminalize, and stigmatize people who use drugs. This urgency was reinforced in this session's opening plenary by the welcome participation of Ms. Winnie Byanyima, the Executive Director of UNAIDS. To ensure that the CND remains relevant amidst these developments, it must urgently take the following actions. First, ensure that the forthcoming thematic intersessional on human rights and all future CND sessions includes robust, open and meaningful discussions with the involvement of all relevant UN human rights experts, civil society and communities. Second, to ensure that the task team has the appropriate resources and leadership to act as the key mechanism for cross-UN cooperation. Lastly, we look forward to UNODC's increased leadership on the promotion of rights-affirming policies such as the decriminalization of people who use drugs and the promotion of harm reduction, as it is mandated to do so under the UN Common Position and the 2021 HIV/AIDS Political Declaration. Finally, we stand in solidarity with the people of Ukraine, with Ukrainian people who use drugs, with civil society, and with those who are courageously providing harm reduction services even as war and catastrophe unfold. We welcome the robust stance taken by member states at this CND to uphold the UN Charter and international law, and we hope that a similar unity and strength can be found in the advancement in the respect for international human rights law in future sessions of this Commission. Thank you for your attention.